Hello, Whimsy friends. Welcome. It's great to be here with you this morning. So, normally I go live today at noon, and my internet here in College Station, Texas has been in and out all morning, and apparently there's been some sort of outage and they're trying to get it fixed, but I didn't want to be live and have it go out just suddenly, so I thought I'd just go ahead and record it, and then when the internet is completely fixed, I'll go ahead and upload the video. So if you did look for me live today, I am sorry that I couldn't be with you at our normal time, but we still have a great project to create. So let me show you the products that we're going to use. This is a new stamp set that came out recently, and it's so fun. I love this little guy right here. He's like, yippee! So I had to use this. I was very excited for this one. And then I'm also using both of these little characters as well, because we're going to create 3 cards today, and I kind of have a formula that we're going to use. And let me tell you, this one is called Warm Hugs in Fall. And I'm going to pair those with some large word dies. So we're going to be using Yay to go with our little hooray guy. We're going to be using So Cool. Excuse me. And we're also going to be using Big Hugs. So all of our 3 cards today are going to have a large word die. For my little polar bear over here, I am going to be using the trees here. This one is called the 3-tree border, and I'm also going to be using the snow flurry stencil. All right, so to get started, we're going to create some backgrounds. And to do that, out of my stamp set, I have pulled out this little piece right here. And I've also gone ahead and pulled all the little leaves and the sunflower. And we're going to use those to create our background. So let me go ahead and grab, ooh, excuse me. I've had a really bad head cold this week, so my voice may sound a little bit off. All right, so here's that. And I'm going to take a drink real quick. My throat is just really bothering me. There we go. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so we're going to start with this first one. And our stamp here from our stamp set. And I'm going to start with these 4 colors right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and open each one. And I'm just going to randomly stamp this oval around my background, and I'm going to start with just doing 2 of each, and I'm just going to pull out my pad here that I wash my stamp on so that I can easily clean that up and move to the next color. Oops. We may come back to that color, we'll see. Going to kind of bring in my darker color too, because I want to make sure I have room for that. And I think we're going to add one more of the orange twist. All right. So there is our kind of simple background to get started. And I'm going to come in, whoops, with my orange brush and put just a little bit of this light orange color. And I'm just going to go lightly around the edges. Just drawing that in a little bit. And this is going to be our first background for our first card. So you may have remembered me mentioning a week or so ago that I went on a bus trip with my mom to New England. Excuse me, and she had a head cold during that trip. And I thought for sure that I was being careful not to pick up any germs, and lo and behold, I got home and I came down with it. So I have been battling it ever since then. All right, so here is our first background. So let's set that one aside, and we're going to work on background number 2. Let's go ahead and make all of our backgrounds first, and then we'll switch to the next step in our process. There we go. Okay, and we're going to start out the same way. So we're going to take our paper, we're going to take our same stamp, but this time we're going to switch out some of our colors. We're still going to have yellow, we're still going to have orange, but then I'm going to add some green and some brown. Go ahead and start with my yellow again. And there's no real rhyme or reason here to how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of spreading my colors out. But I think on these, I'm going to put my little circles a little further away because we're going to add in some leaves when we're done. I may have to talk less and just have you watch because my voice is really scratchy. Okay. And hopefully I left some room for some brown. We'll see. Looks like my browns are just going to be on the corners, but that's all right. Okay, so here's this one. Clean that off. So this is a fun way to kind of mass produce backgrounds because you can just have your colors out with the lids all off and just go to town stamping away. So for this next one, we're going to start with this shape leaf, and I'm going to use the flame color. So it's a little bit darker than any of the colors that I put in here, but we're going to have our leaves just be some fall colors, and we're going to have these floating around. And it's good to have them go off the page. You know, you've probably heard some of those tips before, but let's see. We'll do some browns. I think I'm going to have to use this leaf twice. So I'm going to do the orange one and do just a couple. Okay. And again, we're just being pretty random, putting our leaves around. Get some green leaves, and then we'll do a few brown leaves. So I'm going to do my green leaf, this one right up here. This one looks like a kind of leaf that doesn't really turn in the fall, so I want to do it in the green. We may come back and add a few more of those. And we'll make sure I'm leaving some room for my brown ones. Right. I like to turn the leaves different ways so it does look like they're just kind of floating around. Alright, and I think I'm going to come back with one more of this little one and put right here. Let's do it in the flame color. Whoops, I did the wrong leaf. I grabbed the wrong one. Alright, there we go. Got all our leaves in. Now for this next one, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take a little bit of the green, which is, in this case, is succulent. I'm going to tap off, and around the bottom here, I'm going to put a little bit of green. A little heavier than I wanted, but I think that'll be okay. You'll be able to see it better in the video. There we go. So I'm just kind of making my ground. And on the top portion, we're going to put some catching rays, which is my yellow color. And in all of these, I'm leaving my center white. I'm not bringing my color all the way into the center. Trying to avoid the green I have over here because I didn't wipe off. See, I'm bringing it just across the middle there to kind of have some differentiation from my green to my yellow. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see that and how that is going to give a little bit different vibe than, say, our first background. All right, well, now I'm going to remove my, whatever you call that, the piece that I ink blend on, because we're going to, for our third one, we're going to use this foam stencil. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to lay down this piece just like that. And I'm going to take my blue piece and we're just going to color in all of these snowflakes right where they are. All right, now I'm just going to move my stencil, and I'm okay if they overlap. Excuse me. And we're going to switch to this minty color. So we've kind of gotten away from our fall colors, but we've had to go a bit chilly on this one. So now we're going to use this minty and fill in some of these. Okay. Just gonna look around, see where I need some more. Hold on one quick second. Had to grab a Kleenex. Okay. I think maybe right here. And I like this little one. Nope, that's the same one that was there before. Maybe right here. All right, I think that ought to do it for what we're wanting to do. So we're going to set this one aside. And the same thing as before, we're going to just go lightly around the edges. And it really doesn't matter whether you use the blue or the minty, but we're going to define the edges, leaving the center white. All right, now also for this one, we're going to use our piece right here to put along the bottom, okay? And I want a little bit of shading on my snow, but I don't want my trees to be shaded. So I'm going to take this minty tape and I'm just going to mask off the trees. Okay. Just like that. And now I'm going to I'm going to stick with the minty since that's what I want around the edges. But I'm just going to add some of this right to the top of my snow. Let's go a little bit further over. I haven't cut it down yet, so I just want to make sure I have enough. Okay. All right, so now we have our little snow hill for our polar bear to sit on. All right, we have created 3 fun background pieces very quickly. There we go. And now, let's decorate. So, for our first one that we're going to decorate, we're actually going to start with this one, which was our second background. And on this one, we're going to add our little owl. And for this, we're going to use the words big hug. So I'm going to go ahead and add this little tree stump from our stamp set. And we're going to set our little owls. And I have already added foam to the back of all of these for us. We're just going to center our little owl right there. And I had colored up this little mushroom, so I want to use it because if I colored, I want to use it. So I'm just going to tuck that right over here beside. And I wanted to show you something with word dies. So here's the word die, and sorry, it's stuck together. And I just have the word hugs here. But when you have a busy background, and this is kind of the point of today's video, a little tip, mind you. So here's the word hugs. And it's on a pretty busy background, and you can see it. And one way to kind of get it to stand out would be to use an outline die and cut yourself a different color outline. But sometimes you don't want to lose so much of your design that you've done in the background. So one way to make your word dies stand out a little more is to go one shade darker in the color of cardstock. So I wanted to show you the difference it makes just by going one shade darker. And we're going to use this little trick on all of our cards today. All right. So all of a sudden that background doesn't look quite so busy, and all we did was take our cardstock and go one shade darker. So if you've created a background and you're kind of run up against that problem, you think, wow, my sentiment, my word die just doesn't stand out very much. Don't think you always have to put a background behind it if that was not your plan. Try going a shade darker with your cardstock that you're using and see if that does the trick for you. And that's pretty much my tip for today. So let's go ahead and finish up these 3 cards. They're all very, very similar as far as the design of them. But I think they're really cute. And they're great fall cards. All of them just kind of have sayings that will come in handy to have cards on hand. Now all of my sentiments here, I did die cut them twice and stack them. right. All right, so there's our first one. Now let's move back to our first background. Whoops. And for this one, we're going to use the word yay, and we're going to use that favorite little image of mine, this little jumping fox. Excuse me. And for him, I want him kind of yay, like he's just jumping in the air. And then someone else had made a card similar where they had him kind of throwing these leaves up in the air. And I just thought that was such a cute way to do this. So I thought that would be fun to just kind of arrange these leaves. Let's see, I don't want the two green ones next to each other. All right, hopefully kind of got that in an arc, kind of like this, like he's just tossing these leaves in the air. And of course, we're going to have him say yay. And this is another little trick, and you can see I've gone a shade darker again. Like this was my darkest color, was that flame, but I used a dark red for my sentiment. And to get this positioned well, I'm just going to save this little piece. That way I can get these right where I want them. Now, I did double stack these, and hopefully I got them good and straight so I don't have any trouble pulling this up. We'll see. I don't think we should. Boy, I can't wait till I feel better. Having a cold just slows you down, right? And who has time to be slowed down? Definitely not me. Not anybody, right? Ah! There we go. Alright, now I'm just going to hold them in place as I pull this up. Alright, there we go. And our word yay is perfectly placed. So let's go ahead. And I have gone ahead and put foam underneath all of my pieces here. These were fun little images to color up. This is a really fun set. So on the inside of this card, I think I will go ahead and put the words, "You did it." Yay, you did it. I like that. My son-in-law just this week graduated and took the testing and everything to become a paramedic. And we're certainly proud of him. We're actually taking him and my daughter, her wife, his wife, can't talk, to dinner tomorrow to celebrate. So maybe I will give this card to him, because that's certainly how we all feel. We knew he'd do it because he's a hard-working guy, but it took a lot of hard work, and we're proud of him. So, all right, yay, you did it. So for the last one, we've got our snowy scene, and we've got our little bear. So let's go ahead, and I am going to add some foam to the back of this one because we didn't have it colored and everything yet. I couldn't do the foam in advance, but it will only take us a moment to get that added. Well, that might be a little too wide. I'm going to add it right here along the bottom. And then I'm going to add a small piece to the back of each of my trees. up along the bottom. And we'll turn it over and trim them off. And if I did get it over any, I could easily just trim the bottom, but it looks like I got it pretty straight, so that's great. All right, so for this one, we're going to use the letters So Cool. And you can see, again, I went a shade darker than what I had used for my minty color on my ink. There we go. We're going to go ahead and set our bear on. And we just have to add our sentiment, and boom. Our 3 cards are complete, and we kind of used a bit of a formula, but I think it works really well. And you can kind of see how this formula can work for all kinds of things. A good word die just can't be beat. So I think this kind of goes like this, and almost like an arch. And then the little exclamation point actually goes inside the L. On this die, the so is actually part of another smaller portion, so that is why I'm not using the same way I did the yay, because I wanted to add that so. This is another one I could use possibly for my son-in-law, because so cool you did it. All right, I love how these turned out. Aren't they cute? I love the fall colors. And one of my favorite things is that going a shade darker on our word dies just really helps everything to pop off my busy backgrounds. And what a fun way to make a card. Create a background, do your images, and add a big word die. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we would love it if you give it a thumbs up. And like I said, if you tried to join me at noon, I'm sorry I wasn't there, but we will get this uploaded and on the website or on the YouTube channel just as soon as the internet is ready to go. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for crafting with me. Bye-bye.